Ah, there is a very strange picture going around the world right now. Grown adults are lining up, refreshing websites, watching stock alerts, paying resale prices, sometimes even fighting over a toy. Not a phone, not a car, not a house, a little monster doll, big eyes, sharp teeth, a weird grin. The kind of thing you look at for the first time and think, wait, this? This is what people are chasing. This episode starts with that ugly little doll. About one doll. It is about a stranger question. Why are so many adults suddenly acting like kids at a toy store? Let me be clear. I'm not here to make fun of people for liking cute things. People collect watches. People collect sneakers. People collect mugs, cards, records, figurines, pins, whatever makes a corner of life feel less grey. There is nothing wrong with buying a small thing that makes you happy. The strange part begins when the small thing stops being just a small thing. Now, there are lines. There are secret versions. There are blind boxes. There are resale prices. There are fake versions. There are unboxing videos. There are people asking, did you pull it? Did you get the rare one? At that point, the toy is not just a toy anymore. It becomes a tiny market. And in some ways, it starts to behave like a tiny financial bubble. The game is familiar. You are not simply buying the exact thing you want. You are buying a chance. Before the box is opened, the story is still alive. It could be the common one. It could be the one you already have. Or it could be the rare version everybody wants. That little moment before the reveal is the product, not the plastic, not just the design, the heartbeat, the maybe, the tiny feeling that something good might happen. That is what blind boxes are selling. And that is why they are so powerful. Because adult life gives you very few clean surprises. Work does not always reward you. Saving money can feel slow. Housing can feel impossible. Relationships are complicated. Even the future feels like it comes with terms and conditions. But a box is simple. You buy it. You open it. You know, for a few seconds, the world has a clean rule. That is a rare feeling. Labubu became interesting because several things came together at once. First, the doll is not just cute. It is recognizable. It is odd enough to become a signal. When someone hangs it on a bag, it says something. I know this world. I know the reference. I am inside the joke. That matters. Because a collectible is never only about the object. It is also about who recognizes it. Second, it is not always easy to get. And that changes the feeling completely. If you can buy something anytime, it is just merchandise. If you have to wait, refresh, line up, or get lucky, then owning it feels like winning. Those are two very different emotions. I bought a doll is one sentence. I got the rare one is a completely different sentence. Third, it is extremely easy to show. A figure on your desk, a charm on your bag, a photo on Instagram, a short unboxing clip. Suddenly, the object is not sitting quietly in your room. It is performing. You bought a toy, but what you post is an identity. This is also why the same pattern shows up in China in a slightly different form. There is a huge world around what young people call guzi, badges, cards, standees, keychains, character goods. Some fans put them into transparent bags and carry them around. The bags are called pain bags. The name sounds dramatic, but honestly, it is strangely accurate. Because what is inside the bag is not just merchandise. It is affection. It is money. It is time. It is the proof that a character, a story, or a fictional world gave someone a feeling they could not easily get elsewhere. Once you see it that way, the whole thing becomes less silly. It becomes more human. But the market around it is not always gentle. Once there is attention, there is scarcity. Once there is scarcity, there is resale. Once there is resale, there are fakes. Fake Labubu dolls have even picked up their own nickname online, La Fufu. It sounds funny, but it tells you something serious. Counterfeits do not follow cuteness. Counterfeits follow profit. When a fake version of a little monster doll becomes worth producing, the toy has already crossed a line. It has become a market signal. And this is not the first time adults have done this. In the 1990s, America had its own little stuffed animal fever. Beanie Babies. Tiny plush toys filled with plastic pellets. They looked harmless. But for a while, many adults treated them like investments. People lined up. People traded them. People studied which one might become valuable. Some families believed they were not buying toys. They were buying future money. Then the bubble broke. Many of those toys went back to being what they had always been, small plush animals. That history is funny from far away, but it is uncomfortable up close. Because every generation looks at the last bubble and says, how could people believe that? Then the packaging changes, and we walk into a new version. Sometimes it is sneakers. Sometimes it is trading cards. Sometimes it is vinyl figures. Sometimes it is a blind box. Sometimes it is a little monster with sharp teeth. People do not suddenly become stupid. They get pulled by three forces: scarcity, story, crowd. Scarcity says, if you do not buy now, it may disappear. Story says, this is not just a product, it means something. Crowd says, everyone else understands this, why are you standing outside? Put those three together and price stops feeling like price. Price becomes proof. If it is expensive, maybe it must be valuable. If it is hard to find, maybe it must matter. If people are posting it everywhere, maybe missing it means missing the room where everyone else is talking. That is the dangerous flip. In a normal purchase, a higher price makes you hesitate. In a collectible craze, a higher price can make the object feel more real. The price rise itself becomes part of the advertisement. That is why the language changes. People no longer say, I bought a toy. They start saying things that sound like markets. I got in. I missed the drop. I paid resale. I pulled the rare one. I should have bought earlier. Listen to those words. They do not sound like play. They sound like trading. And that is the real mystery here. The money involved may be small compared with stocks or houses. Most people are not going to ruin their lives over one doll. But the habit being trained is not small. You are being trained to chase scarcity, to accept random rewards, to check resale prices as if they measure truth, to let social proof tell you how much you like something. At the beginning, you just like a character. Then you start watching inventory, then resale, then unboxing videos, then other people's collections. Slowly liking becomes tracking, and tracking becomes pressure. That is where a harmless hobby can start to change shape. The toy is still cute, but the system around it is no longer cute. It is engineered. It knows that adults are tired. It knows that people want small wins. It knows that identity is easier to sell when it can hang from a bag. It knows that a cheap item does not feel dangerous. One badge is not a big deal. One keychain is not a big deal. One box is not a big deal. But a series is different. A set is different. A missing piece is different. The phrase, just one more, is where the business begins. And that phrase is very old. Casinos know it. Games know it. Trading apps know it. Blind boxes know it. So, the better question is not, why are adults buying toys? The better question is, why do adults need toys to give them a feeling the rest of life is not giving them? Because that part is more painful. For a lot of people, the big milestones feel farther away. A house feels far away. Stable work feels far away. A secure future feels far away. Even a clear identity can feel far away. But a small object is close. You can choose it. You can own it. You can hold it. You can show it. You can get a reaction today. That is why these objects can feel bigger than they look. They are small, but they carry feelings that are not small. Belonging, control, recognition, relief. A little private world you can carry around. So no, the answer is not simply stop buying toys. That is too easy. People need joy. People need useless things. Sometimes the most human thing in a week is the thing that has no productivity value at all. The problem begins when joy turns into pursuit. When you are not buying because you like it. You are buying because you are afraid to miss it. When you do not feel happier after opening the box. You just want the next one. When you no longer ask, do I want this? You ask, is everybody else getting this? That is when the toy stops being a toy. It becomes a machine. So I would use 3 questions. First, if I could not post this anywhere, would I still want it? If the answer is no, you may not be buying the object. You may be buying other people's attention. Second, if this could never go up in price, would I still want it? If the answer is no, you may not be collecting. You may be speculating in miniature. Third, am I enjoying this or am I chasing it? Enjoyment makes you feel lighter. Chasing makes you feel rushed. That line matters. Because a hobby should give you a room to breathe. It should not become another room where you are late, competing, refreshing, and feeling left behind. In the end, the little ugly doll is almost honest. It looks strange. It looks like a monster. It does not pretend to be normal. The less honest part is the system around it. The scarcity, the drops, the blind pull, the social proof, the resale heat, the quiet suggestion that if you do not get this small thing now, you may be outside the circle. So the next time you see adults fighting over a tiny monster, do not only laugh. Look closer.